Hey, it's Wednesday night, time for a break in between the week. Let's talk about current events, life, and laugh. Podcast time. It's been a while.
Through, yeah, we're making it right, laughing, crying, feeling blue, but feeling light. It's Wednesday night and we're back again with the crew where the real talk never ends. Halfway through, yeah, we're making it right, laughing, crying, feeling blue, but feeling light. Life moves fast, so let's hit pause. Tell our stories without a cause. Just you, me, and that 12-gauge sound where every voice and vibe is found. It's 12-gauge on a Wednesday night. Come on in, the mood is right. Like, subscribe, don't miss the light. We're chilling through the week, taking flight. Don't forget to hit that bell. 12 gauges on tonight for you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is 12 Gauge. Happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's doing okay. I thought that I'd do a little bit something different to break the monotony of the week. Not really wanting to talk true crime tonight. Want to do a little bit something I call a podcast. I used to do this whenever I started my channel. Used to do this quite often when I just get on here and talk, how people interact with me, and I hope tonight can be just as fun as it was in the past. Let me wait for people to come on in here. Let me go ahead and shut this off, this YouTube one. So, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody doing okay. I see a couple people. We have some new characteristics this StreamYard has. As you can see, your chat is in the right-hand corner. Let me know if you can see that. I don't know how to make it any bigger. So let's just do a little bit of hanging out tonight, shall we? And put feelers out for people that want to come up to the channel and just hang out with me. Aquarius, you want to come up? I'd love to have you up. It's been a while. Mickey, you can come up. Rondi, I know your phone's still not acting right, but you're more than welcome to come up. So let me go ahead and all right, Aquarius, that's awesome. Let me go ahead and put this in the chat, and you can come on up. There you go. Yeah, Mickey, you're more than welcome as well. I mean, this is what this podcast is about. It's something different. You're off to the cookout. All right, Jeff H. If you get back in time and I'm still up, you can come on up yourself. What y'all think about the new intro to the 12 Gauge podcast? Wednesday night. And hopefully this is a Wednesday night thing. We can do this every Wednesday night. And we can have different guests up for different reasons. But I'm going to have an interactive part tonight. So y'all stay put. If you can see my email address that's pinned to the top of the chat, make sure that you know that whenever you send your responses, you're sending it to that email, okay? Because I'm going to be looking at that email just to hear your responses, okay? So we're waiting on Aquarius, and then we'll continue on. Today is Wednesday, and something that happened this week that I was unaware of is Mount St. Helens erupted so many years ago. I don't know if you guys were aware of that or if you had knowledge that that happened, or if you saw anything anywhere to acknowledge that that happened. But I don't even know the date when that happened. I know it happened a couple of days ago, but I don't know exactly what day. And there she is, Aquarius. How's it going?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Look at you, the pro. I
I'm getting
remember when
better.
you I remember when you used to have such a tough time getting up on the stage. Welcome.
Well, I couldn't remember my password at first. It tried to log me in under my channel, and then I couldn't
Yeah,
remember my password for this one at first, so it took me a minute.
right, right. All right, cool. So, do you remember the date of St. Helens erupting?
I don't. I want to. Wasn't if I'm thinking of the right one? Wasn't that in 1981?
That just popped in my head for some reason. I don't know why that popped into my head, but that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Also, we lost somebody special in the entertainment community. Um, I don't know if you ever watched Cheers, but the guy that goes under Norm, he passed away, I think, today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he
It's
passed
been a
away
long time
today.
since I watched that show, but I know it.
Yeah. So keep in mind the part of the interactive part of the live is going to be quite interesting. And Mountain Mama says March 1980. All
Okay,
right.
1980. I was close.
All right. Okay. So yeah, Norm passed away either today or and where everyone knows your name. Go down to Cheers and where everyone knows your name. March 1980, a volcano. Yeah, that volcano was really huge. I think 1980, I would have been like 10 years old.
I was one.
What?
Yes, I was only one in my 1980. I'm 46.
Oh man. Oh man. I'm really showing my age then. So, well, we're still some youngsters, right, Aquarius?
Yes.
Yes. I'm slowly approaching the downhill slope though. So
They
I
say we get
gotta,
better with age.
that's what they say. That's what they say, and, hopefully that's true. Hopefully that is true. Yeah, Normie passed away today, and it's sad to say that that was a really good show for a long time, for a long time.
Yeah, it
So
really was.
now you can read the chat on the side. Can you see the chat?
I do. It's a little small. I have it up on my TV so I can see a little bit,
Yeah,
but it's hard to see either way. So
I don't know how to make it bigger. I'm sure there's a way, but I'm scared to
I think
mess
it's
with it.
pretty cool that it's up there.
Yeah, I'm scared to mess with it because if I mess with it, might zip us all off here. So.
That's how you learn, though, 12 gauge. That's how I've learned. We were on green screen the other day for like 3 minutes, didn't even know what we did.
Oh my goodness. Well, if you were on the live with Nina and us and myself the other night, I was sitting there talking for like a couple minutes. Hit didn't even hit go live. I
Oh,
ran my intro music and everything and didn't hit go live. And I was like, oh, they didn't hear none of that. No wonder nobody's responding to the music. Nobody's saying anything. Yeah.
wow.
So Mountain Mama says, hush, both of you. I was a junior in high school in 1980. Jeff said, actually, I think there was a series of volcanic explosions in March, but I think the big one was May 1980. Okay. Well,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I know that happened, though. Um, and if there's any football fans in the audience right now, the OTAs have began, so your favorite football team is probably having OTA this week, and you can check that out. There's a lot going on. Summer is right around the corner. This is my favorite time of year. How about you,
Mine too.
Aquaria?
It's one of my favorite times of year too.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of outdoor activities that you do during the summer, spring, summer?
My backyard is like a big play zone for the children. I just stay home. I have a swimming pool and everything. The kids, I'm a stay at home yaya.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I've always, I'm always traveling, as y'all know. I take my family and stuff. We go
I think
traveling,
that's awesome.
we go swimming, and there's not a pool that's too far away, so we like to go for the weekend and stuff like that. So it's pretty fun.
That's awesome.
Haven't been on the scooters because two of the scooters got broken because they were a little rough with them. So that was
Oh,
just a that was just a flash in the pan. You know how it goes. You get something new,
right.
you're just riding it to death, and then you end up breaking it. It's like whatever. Yeah, I love summertime. I love summertime. It is awesome. It is an awesome time of year. You can just the days just seem to go longer, and you can be out there in that sunshine, get that vitamin D going on, and it's really awesome.
Yes, I love to go out and get the vitamin D. I didn't used to like that, but it's
Yeah.
nice.
I mean, I work indoors, so I'm pretty much in a controlled environment all day long, other than lunchtime. When I go in, obviously, and then when I get out. Well, in the morning it's kind of cool still, but when I get out for lunch, man, that sun's already up, and I'm like a vampire. I'm going out like this, shielding my eyes. I can't even handle it. And then of course when I get out for out of work, I'm really in a mess.
Right.
So anything new going on in your neck of the woods? Any kind of festivals, any kind of, athletic events, concerts, anything like that?
Nope, nothing around here.
Yeah.
Nothing new going on around here. I know I'm boring. I was hoping somebody else would come up.
Well, hopefully we'll have somebody else come up. Delby, are you still in the chat? You're more than welcome to come up
Thanks,
if you'd
Jeff.
like. We're just discussing just random stuff. That's what a podcast is. You really never have a script. We're talking about everything but true crime tonight, which I
Right.
think we all need a break from. You know what I mean? We all need a break from that, I believe.
Absolutely. I like when you just come up and hang out sometimes. It's really nice
Yeah, I
just to
plan
say,
on doing
hey,
this.
interact with the chat.
Yeah, I plan on doing this on Wednesday nights because, I used to do this. I used to do this
You
in the
did.
very beginning, and I enjoyed it. Sometimes I wouldn't even talk about um, true crime.
Yeah, you
There's
used to
so
have mod nights and stuff.
Yeah, there you go, Delby. If you'd like to come on up,
Yeah,
we're
come on
not
up. You don't
talking.
have to show
We're
your face.
Yeah, we're not talking true crime though. We're just talking. It takes around 10 seconds for a comment to show up on your end.
I've
I
learned that
haven't.
there's like that small delay.
Yeah, I haven't even been paying attention. I'm so used to it not being there. You know what I mean?
Right.
But some of the other ones, I think, like Restream and some of those other ones have it, and we're gonna eventually get all the cool little gadgets that they have because people are probably complaining. Well, we don't have this, we don't have that, and they got this, and
I
I
like
don't
the
really
background
care.
up there. It looks like we're really sitting in a podcast, like how we're both our faces are in the two chairs. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
I put this one up one night. I don't know, doing a live. I thought, man, that's a cool kind of laid
It
back
is. It's cool.
look. King George died today from the Texas Renaissance Festival. He ran it for 50 years. Wow.
Wow.
That's that's terrible, but for 50 years,
That's a long time.
yeah.
Are you
He's
into
always
those? The Renaissance festivals and stuff like that? Just out of
Nikki.
curiosity.
I'm not. I've had friends that go to those to those festivals, and
Who
they
co-
dressed
Oh,
up
Mickey
and
commented that. Mickey, are you into the Renaissance festivals and stuff like that? I always thought they'd be kind of cool. I've never been to one.
yeah. I think they have those like around East Texas area, if I remember correctly. I've never been to one, but what I've heard is people really dress up and do all that good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
giant turkey legs at the Renaissance festivals. Yeah, and the jousting. We have a place in Dallas called Medieval Times, and they do that over there.
Okay. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Like where you can go like for dinner and stuff like that, or is it like
Yeah, and I hear that they serve you on like metal beat up plates and stuff, and they don't give
okay,
you silverware, and you got to eat with your hand, just like
like
in the
back
meat
in
of.
okay.
Yeah,
I think that would be kind of cool though, maybe messy, but I think it would be kind of fun.
she said I collect hippie dresses from the '60s. Okay,
Okay.
well I know a lot of individuals that like to wear bell bottoms and flare ups. I guess they're called. I don't know.
I like bell
Is that
bottoms.
what they're called?
I call them bell
Flare?
bottoms. I think they're
Yeah,
flare ups nowadays.
yeah, flare ups, bell bottoms. Hip huggers, whatever the hell they're called. I don't know. They all
Yeah.
go by different names. Well, this is the interactive portion while we wait on Delby to come up. If you have your cell phone available, go ahead and type my email address into or just do this first and then send it to my email because I'm going to show it on the panel. You don't have to be on camera, but I do want to hear your voice, okay? Tell me in your phone, I want you to hum or I want you to sing your favorite jingle from a kid. Here's one that I grew up with, and it goes like this. Oh, O'Reilly's something, auto
Yeah,
parts,
that one.
something like that. So I want you to send me a little bitty video to my email with you singing it or humming it, where we can hear you and let us know your name as it is in the chat. You don't have to give us your real name. You don't have to show your face, nothing like that. Just hum or sing a jingle that we can all recognize that is either your current or your past favorite as a kid. You have one?
No, not really. I knew your O'Reilly one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. No, you put me on the spotlight and I can't think of one now. If I was in the chat, I would be able to think of one.
All right. Delby's coming up. Here we go. I don't know why it's doing that, but you just uh you just
Hi,
open your
Delby.
camera. You open your camera, you press video, you press the red button, you hum it, you press the red button again, and then at the three little dots at the top it says share, and you send it to my email from your email, and then I'll show it from there. Hey Delby,
Hey,
how's it going, buddy?
oh, it's going pretty good. How's it for you?
We're pretty good. You're sounding a little robotic. Is it our end or your end or?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
That
How
sounds
do I
better.
sound now? Maybe that's how
You
I
sound
sound.
good now.
Oh, okay.
Well, Nina,
Yeah.
I invited you earlier. You're more than welcome to come up also. Here's the link.
Hey,
So,
Nina.
do you want to give us your jingle from a kid or maybe your favorite jingle currently?
A jingle?
Yeah, like commercial.
Oh,
Something
yeah.
something that gets stuck in your head.
Oh, what would one be? I can't think of any right now. I don't know.
I thought of one. You know
Well, are
that one?
you
How'd it go? JG Wentworth, call 1-877 cash now.
There you
That
go.
one used
There
to
you
get
go.
stuck in
There
my
you
head.
go. There you go. There you go. Yes, yes. J.C. Wentworth. Finish it off. Caught.
That's all I knew.
Okay, you said the numbers. You said the numbers.
Yeah, 1877 cash now.
Okay. No, Delby, none of it. Kim, you want to come
I
up?
can't.
You or
Oh
Carlos?
no.
No, you don't want to do one? I was thinking, I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. Chili's.
I
Do y'all know
used
that one?
I don't know that
No.
one.
Okay.
The baby back ribs?
Yes.
Okay.
The Chili's restaurant, baby back ribs. Yeah. I think that one was pretty cool and quite catchy. Um, there's been some dumb ones that they get in your head. You just hear the music. You might have the TV on, just like what you said. You might be watching something, and then bam, that music just plays, and you don't even have to hear it all. You just know what it is.
Right.
Well, I know like the intro music to the Addams Family is
Okay,
something I
go
could
ahead.
never forget.
Go ahead.
What do you mean? Go do it?
No, go ahead and hum it.
Hum it?
Yeah.
Oh, do 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 do. That's all
Yes.
I can remember. That's all I
Yes.
got.
Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do.
Do 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 do.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. We have a
I love
couple
the
of
Addams
My
Family.
Baloney has the first name. It's
I used to get teased
OSCAR.
over that.
Yeah, OSCAR.
OSCAR. My Baloney has a second name. It's MEYER.
MEYER.
Yes, there
EYER.
you go. Yes, exactly.
That's my last name, and I
Exactly.
used to get teased when I was little over the baloney song.
See your USA and your Chevrolet. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of them, like a rock. You know, you'd hear that, you automatically knew that it was a. God, I can't even think of the truck now. A Chevy Silverado, I think, was that. You know, and y'all remember those beer commercials, the Bud Light commercial? Hey, Mister Man of something, this is your weekend, and you're gonna do this, and he's drinking a Bud Light, and I don't know. There're just so many. There're just so many. You
There
know.
is the K Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K.
There you go. See what I mean? Everybody has those. If you really stop to think about it,
Yeah, now
everybody
you got
has
them popping
those.
in my head.
Yeah, yeah. And they usually pop into your head like right before work or, during
Or
lunch
right
break or
before
something.
bed.
Yeah. Rondi just thought of one. Come and play. Everybody get away. Like go down to Sesame Street. You remember
Uh
that
huh.
one? Yeah. Sesame Street jingle. That's a good one.
That is a
I
good
mean,
one.
there's tons of them, and it's interesting. Like, it's interesting how we get these things in our heads, and we're just mesmerized. It doesn't matter how old you get; it's always in your head. So, Delby, what's up with your neck of the woods? Let me get off camera and turn on the AC. It's getting kind of warm in here. I'll let you go ahead and take over for a second.
Oh, okay. Not a whole lot. I just been enjoying the weather, honestly. It's been
Has it been nice where
cool and
you are?
rainy.
That's how it's
Yeah,
been like that here too. In the 60s
yeah.
and rain.
Uh-huh. Yes, that's been pretty nice.
So
Oh,
y'all have,
otherwise,
so you are having good weather, huh?
I like it. Not everybody
Okay.
does. It's been raining quite a bit, but the temperature is great. It's great sleeping weather. And
Yes, exactly.
as old as I am and everything, I like to take a morning nap and an afternoon nap.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong
no,
with that. A
I try
nap
to
is
follow my
always
cat's
good
lead.
to do what?
Try to
Do
follow
what?
my cat's lead.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when we were little, we didn't want to ever take a nap. You remember that?
Oh
You'd be
yeah.
fighting. You'd be fighting it. Now it's like any time is a good time for a nap, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Typically, Unique
Are you?
says, I'm waiting for the 90 degrees in Ohio.
Typically, I'm with
Oh,
you a little bit. I like the 60s, and I don't even mind the rain, but it's the end of May at the same time. Like we're going into June, and I haven't even switched the covers on my pool yet. It hasn't been nice enough.
Hey, Kim, I'm going to send you a link. I want to talk to you up here about some stuff that, you have insight on. So if you got a little bit, please hop on up. Kim did awesome on the boots on the ground last winter. I don't know if y'all saw her footage, but she would literally be walking in like waist deep
Yes. Oh, the
snow.
snow. I seen those
Yes,
videos.
as she was going toward the mailbox, and you'd see Carlos coming around out by the garage. I mean, they were snowed in. I don't know if you had that much snow, Aquarius.
We did not. We did not. I'm below
No.
her. I
Okay.
remember watching her videos though and couldn't believe. Yeah, they got a lot of snow.
Yeah, I'm not much on winter time. I love fall. I love summer, spring. I could do without all the allergens in the air, but as far as summer, that's my time of year. That's my time of year. Hey, Leslie and Billy, nice for you to be here. Hey, Delby, you said you fish, right? What type of fish you usually go trying to catch?
oh no, I don't fish.
Oh, I
No,
mistook you. I thought you said it's great
it's
fishing weather. What is
sleeping. Great sleeping weather.
sleeping? Oh, sleeping. Well, that's
Yeah,
even
no,
better. That's even better. I mean, you know,
yeah. Oh, I wanted
12.
to
I'm
say,
gonna hop down. Okay. Nice
you're gonna
talking to you
hop down.
guys. Yeah, I'm gonna
yeah,
hop
nice talking
down.
with you.
It's
Okay,
nice talking to you
okay,
guys. Bye.
Aquarius. Bye.
I just wanted to thank Leslie and Billy for stopping by last Friday night to check me out on a show.
Yeah, I was in there too. I just didn't know. I mean, I didn't know if I should say anything in the chat, but you know how it goes. So
I
I
can't
was
see the
there.
chat though.
Yeah, I was in there. I just didn't,
Oh, that's cool.
didn't didn't really say anything. I told you I'd go look, and I did.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
you're welcome, Aquarius. Hey, Nina, how are you doing?
Well, I didn't mean to run Aquarius off. I'm going to cry now.
I know she just hopped down. Maybe she'll come back up. Maybe she has something to
You did
do.
an excellent job.
Yeah. So how is it in Alabama? Because I'm going to be visiting in July. How's the
Uh,
weather in Alabama?
it'll be melting into the Gulf.
Yeah, that's why I love it. The water feels amazing.
Yeah, it's that comfortable temperature today.
In May, I've been to Destin. I don't know if either one of you have been to Destin, but I've been in the water, and it is almost like it's not even really that cold. It's like bath water warm almost. Like you have the bath water sitting there for a little bit. It's not really that bad to get into. Have any of you been to Destin?
Yes.
What do you think about it?
No.
To me, all of them's the same.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're on the ocean, they're all the same. They're beachfront.
Have either of you ever been bit by a jellyfish?
No.
Have you?
No.
Oh, good
No,
for
thank
you.
goodness.
Good for you,
No.
man. Because those jellyfish, they just tear you up if they bite you. I mean, it is a painful thing. It like puts a big old welt on you and stuff. It is just Not any fun.
No.
No, no fun at all. So, Nina, what's new? Anything new in your neck of the woods?
Hey, did you like my station song? My station. Did you like my channel song?
Yes, I did, but we're not talking true crime tonight. We're talking Nina.
It ain't no crime. It's about my channel.
Oh, I like that. I like
I
that.
didn't
I
kill
like
nobody.
that. I like that. I did. Yes, I did go to the boardwalk in Destin. It's really nice. The one thing that I've never done is I've always wanted to go on one of those pirate ships and kind of sail around the Gulf.
I thought the pirate ship, that's what runs into the bridges over there, isn't it?
Yeah, go go hard or go home, Nina.
Go hard or go. Okay. Hey, I get to stay at home. It all got took care of.
So, Delby, what do you do when you're not sleeping? Any kind of hobbies? You dad or you student anything?
Mm, No, no kids. I'm single still, and really, this has become my hobby. I found a lot of interesting things to study to, try to enable me to analyze and evaluate some of the stuff that's new to me, and so I'm kind of, I guess, expanding that way. I'm not that. See, I'm not really into the topic we're not discussing. This is just a rare thing for me. It's only the one, and that's it. But I think it's gotten I've kind of found some really interesting things to learn about, and think some things in math, and um, I guess philosophy, which is something I don't spend a lot of time with, but you know,
That's
just
understandable.
like the idea of being subjective, and that being subjective can be really powerful if you know what you're doing with it.
Right.
Um, that's something new to me, and I'm enjoying like learning about that.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Myself, I have about 4 more weeks left of school, and I was having a conversation with my boss today about the transition, the transitional role from what I'm doing to now, which is a therapist, to continuing to be like a hybrid, to be like a PO and a therapist. So I'm kind of excited. I mean, we all, I think when you think about it, most of society has forgotten how to talk just to talk. And
Yeah,
that's one of the
yeah,
reasons that I thought this would be cool to kind of fire up because we don't really ever just talk to talk. We always need a topic. And sometimes people have forgotten how to just carry on a casual conversation. If we were on let's say we were in Nina's neck of the woods, we were down there in Alabama on a swing overlooking some of those cypress trees and, with some cold, sweet tea, we wouldn't be on our phones. We'd be out there just kind of swinging on that swing, just BSing, right?
oh yeah.
Or, yeah, I mean, and that's how I look at this is like we're just sitting around, just getting to know each other a little bit. You know what I mean?
Well, since we're
Yeah,
going to
I'm
be in
sure
the
there's.
swing, I
Do
need you
what?
to sing that. Since we're going to be in the swinging, I need you to sing some of that John Anderson song.
Yeah, you like that song?
I adore John Anderson.
Well,
He has
Jeff.
the best songs ever, and it's called "Let Go of the Stone."
Jeff is a musician, not me. I'm not the musician. I could
Well, you
write
know what
lyrics.
John Anderson is.
No, I can't sing. No. How about you,
Yeah.
Delby? Can you carry a tune?
No, it's one thing I never really did was sing very much.
Yeah.
Years ago, I played guitar. Well, decades ago, decades
Yeah.
ago, I
I
played
mean,
guitar.
some people they have that ability just to It's almost like they come out of the womb able to just belt out music, and it's beautiful. I've seen little kids
Yeah.
on YouTube, and sometimes I catch some of those videos, and they're either playing instruments or they're singing songs, and you're like, Jesus, they're barely big enough to sit in a booster chair, and they're able to belt this music out like they've been doing it for decades. You know. How about any of
Hmm.
you in the chat? Are y'all able to sing? Any singers or musicians in the chat other than Jeff? Any of you play
Yes,
piano or
yes.
anything? Jeff went to something, he said. He went to a cookout, I think he said.
I know he plays, is it bass or guitar?
Hmm.
Does he sing too?
Leslie says she can dance and play drums. Leslie, you want to
Wow.
come up? You want to come
Leslie,
up,
come
Leslie?
on up. You have to demonstrate.
Come on up, Leslie. There's the
Rondi
link.
plays the piano.
Kim said she'd be up here in a minute. She said a hard
Okay,
no.
that's it. Gage, we're
I
gonna
can't
have
I can't
gauges.
sing. I can't sing. Playing that guitar is hard for me because, I don't know, just have some nerve damage in my ears and could never really carry a tune, you know.
So you've got Leslie that can play the drums and dance. You've got Rondi that can play the piano. You and
Yeah.
Jeff on guitar. We need a lead singer, and you could have Gage's Patrol as a band or something like that.
Okay, that's fine, Leslie. No big deal. The link's in there when you get a chance if you want to. So yeah, we almost have a band. Hey, Delby, I think you're gonna be the lead singer. We'll put your voice through a voice we'll put your voice through a voice changer, and we'll auto tune it, and
Hey,
you'll
yeah,
you'll be all right.
actually, I can do that. Yeah, I can make up words and stuff and carry, and I can definitely carry a tune or mix in music. I mean,
Yeah, there you go. I mean, this day and age in 2025, you really don't need to do it the old school way. You just put a lot of stuff into a machine, and bam, there it is.
yeah, I'd enjoy
So
that. I made up a couple comedy songs in a Western country music style.
yeah.
I don't know where they
Well, I
are, but
made
they were pretty funny.
yeah, I made some pretty comical songs also, but I'm not going to play them tonight because no need, you know, no need. I'm sure you've heard them. I'm sure you've heard them. If you've watched the channel at all, you probably heard them. So
Only one or two. I really don't get around like everybody else does.
yeah,
I don't watch very many channels or videos, and honestly, the only reason I'm still even involved with it is because I found some really interesting ways to look at it, and some people are starting to let me on the show, to
yeah.
talk and stuff. Now, that's cool.
So are you a gamer or anything? Do you play games, online games or anything like that?
No, I was there at the beginning of games, and I just
Yeah.
never did. The only one I ever got good at, a little bit good at, was Asteroid Deluxe.
Okay.
But everybody could get good at that one now.
Yeah.
So no, no. Do you do gaming?
I used to, but the only games I used to get into is Call of Duty and the sports games, the boxing and the you know UFC type stuff. And I challenged JB Gunner the other day to a Mortal Kombat fight in his house because he has a Mortal Kombat, the old timey Mortal Kombat video game, the one with the
Yeah,
joysticks and
yeah,
stuff where
yeah.
you
My
actually
nephew
stay in there.
had that.
Yeah. I told him, I said, man, I need to come to your house and challenge you to some Mortal Kombat. Man, I loved that game when it first came out because it's like you just you just hear that word, finish him. And boy, it was over. It was over. I mean,
Yeah,
it's stuff like that. It's stuff like that that you see from time to time, and it's really in our society. I've noticed that I talk to juveniles all the time, and I'll recall some of these memories. And, a lot of them are not old enough to remember any of the stuff I talk about because most of them are like, from 13 to 16 or whatever. And that's no time at all. You know what I mean? They weren't even born in the 90s. So,
Yeah.
they don't know anything about anything that I talk about. But, you know, in your opinion, what was the best generation if you had an opinion?
Oh, the World War II generation by far. Yeah, the
Yeah.
greatest generation. They're called that for a very good reason. Oh, nobody else is
So
even close.
so tell me about that, Delby. Tell me what makes you feel that way.
Because I was lucky enough to be partially raised by that generation. They were my grandparents, and
Okay.
so people. I'm in the last year of the baby boomers. I was the
Okay.
last batch. You had about 3 months left to be a boomer when I was born, and so I was kind of in the middle of what we have now, and but no, the World War II generation they were different as human beings. They were just different, and the one thing my grandfather told me, I asked him one time, um, about the biggest innovation or whatever that he's seen, and or something like that. And he told me that he was, yeah, I know what you're thinking of, these, the technology and stuff. But he said the biggest change that I'm going to see, the most important one, is the decline and like erosion of the communities. That
Okay.
when he was young and when he was an adult raising kids, the community was really important to everyone in it. People really, they really enjoyed their community and they knew each other. Everybody knew everyone. And he said, but now, and this was, I don't know, if 20 years ago maybe, but he said that, people don't even talk to their neighbors hardly anymore. And now it's only gotten, more extreme with, but like what we're doing, but this is, we wouldn't
Yeah.
be able to communicate any other way. So I think this is a good thing. But
Right.
they just had, they were just, they were more grounded. I think they were very grounded people, is what I would say, as opposed
Okay.
to, we have the Gen Z. The Zoomers are they're the first digitally native generation. They grew up. They were born with something in their hand. It had to be if it was a phone or something, and they're
Yeah.
very good at it. But they're also very different people. I was talking with one, and we got along great though because he had a little bit of a Michael Myers tattoo, and I told him, I said, I saw that movie the first weekend it came out, the original, and he thought that was great. So
That is.
but they're different. They're very different.
Yes, very different indeed. Kim from Typically Unique. Welcome to the stage.
Hi, 12 Gauge. It's been a
Hi,
while. Good to
long
see
time,
you.
long time. So
Yeah.
I was gonna say, how did you and Carlos shrink down and turn back time?
So he saw a TikTok on how to do it. And he sent it to me and he's like, make this for us right now. So I did it. But you have to use Chat GPT to like put your photo and tell it to make you the toddler you want. And then
Yeah,
there's a website called, I think it's Dreamina or something like that. I'll send it to you. Um, but I just use the free version. You can only do like 15 seconds and it takes forever. Like it
yeah.
took like 6 hours just to make an 11-second clip.
Man, yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It is time consuming for sure. So that was adorable. I was like, okay, let me go check out what this is. And then I was like, whoa.
Yeah, we were cracking up.
Was it pretty accurate? Pretty accurate?
I mean, for the way I looked, I think Carlos was spot on. I'm not
Yeah.
a natural redhead, so my sister was like, "You didn't look like that as a baby." I'm like, "I know." It looks like I do now, but yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I was giving you props about your boots on the ground during the winter last year,
Hmm.
about how you were walking to the mailbox and all that stuff you had to do. I mean, I bet you're glad all that's over with, huh?
Oh my gosh. And I hate it here because I feel like we get like 5, maybe if we're lucky, 5 months of good weather, and
Yeah.
then the rest of it's just like that, just cold and
Right.
horrible. So yeah,
So,
I videoed it all. We had cars stuck in the driveway. We're trying to get them out. It was crazy.
so I asked Delby what generation he thought was, pretty amazing. And I don't know if you heard his answer. He said the end of the World War II era, where his grandfather and where they were really, still grounded and had morals, and the communities were stronger. What would you say yours would have been if you
You
could
asked
pick?
what kind the generation that was what?
What generation in your eyes was the most, um, I guess, your favorite, or what
Yeah.
generation do you believe, did the most good so far?
Well, I don't know about the most good, but I got to give props to my generation X
Okay.
because I feel like
Yeah.
we were born in the 70s, right? Late 60s to 70s, early 80s is the cutoff. And I feel like we've just seen such a change. Like, there was no technology. There was, and we encountered all the firsts, right? I remember being in 6th grade with one giant computer that was like in a man-made shed in our classroom that like they would unlock for us to get in there, and like
Right. Right.
the way that looked with just doing a basic math problems or whatever, and to where we are now. Like, look, I'm 55 years old and I made that little video with the AI and all that. I feel like we've had a big learning curve. I feel like our generation has had a big learning curve. And I feel
Yes.
like we're hanging with it.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, the only thing that I really wish that it seems like that was the beginning of the latchkey kids, you know, because it's like the baby boomers and all that, they were getting older. We were having children, we were having to be out there in the world, and everything was changing so fast that you just couldn't do it on one income, just like now. I mean, but I'm a Gen Xer.
Yep.
I'm a Gen Xer. I mean, but we didn't have a. I mean, I don't know about you where you grew up, but I've been in Texas most of my life. I mean, I haven't lived there the whole time, but I've lived here most of my life. And being from Texas, we weren't sheltered when we were young. I mean, we were out shooting rabbits, 7, 8 years old with a 22. I mean, shotgun, shooting at rocks. I can remember, my senior party, we were out throwing caliche rocks, and we had a 12 gauge, and we were skeet shooting with rocks. I mean,
I know.
nobody was nobody was out there protesting us being loud or any of that stuff. And it seems like now you can go to jail for that stuff. You know?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The times have changed. My parents were I had just my dad worked, my mom stayed home. I kind of was raised in that environment, but I had friends that weren't. So even if you were raised in that kind of leftover mindset, you were still exposed to kids who weren't. And yeah, we just had so much freedom. And I keep thinking, thank God there's not evidence of like
There were
social
videos.
media and videos and stuff.
There's a video somewhere somehow of my graduation night. I mean, we were going around the party with a video camera. So somebody has evidence somewhere. If they didn't lose that video, I mean, there's evidence of a lot of debauchery going on, in the
Yeah.
young lives of, teens.
Yeah.
So, Delby, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
60,
You're 50, so you're a Gen Xer?
60. No, 60.
60. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm the last of the baby boomers.
okay, last of the baby boomers. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So I
were you ever into like the 80s hair bands and any of that stuff?
not
Or were you
really
mostly about the 70s bands?
more 70s, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like them.
Who were your
And
favorites?
oh, my favorites were just um back with the Unleashed in the East live album, more than British Steel and stuff like that. But Cheap Trick was my first concert that I went to when they were supporting their Live at Budokan record. They were just becoming rock stars, and I saw them at a real small place. They were sitting at a couple tables away
Oh,
from the
wow.
stage, and it was really
Cheap
cool. I
Trick.
was like 14. Yeah,
Okay.
me and my friend, his dad, took us to see him. Kiss, we were big Kiss fans. Big
Yes.
Kiss fan.
Okay. How
And
about you, Kim? Were you a New Kids on the Block type person?
No, that
no,
was my sister. We used to fight over it. I'm like a Beastie Boys. Like I loved hip hop
Beastie
and
Boys.
Yeah.
I don't know, in high school, whatever was on the radio, of course, but
Yeah.
I liked hip hop and rap music. So
Okay. So you're a
kind of like,
wild one. One of those. See, once hair metal kind of faded away, I jumped into the gangster rap. I went into NWA, Ghetto
yeah,
Boys,
yeah.
all that hard stuff coming out of Cali, all that. I jumped into that, and I just kind of went from the long haired, I chopped it off and kind of went into you know,
Yeah,
the faded look.
my first concert was in 1988, and one of my friends that I hung out with in high school, his dad was a mortician and owned a funeral parlor, but they had a limo, so they piled us all into a limo, and we went up to I think it was like the Cleveland Coliseum at the time or whatever, and yeah, I saw Run DMC and whoever opened up for them. That was great.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, my first concert was in '86. I went to see Bon Jovi, and after that, I saw LL Cool J.
Yeah, all my friends went to Bon Jovi and I wasn't allowed to go.
So you were one of those Bon Jovi girls, huh?
Yeah, I wanted to, but sheltered.
Yeah.
Because that was what you said, 86. I was in 10th grade. So,
Yeah,
by the
86.
time, I went to that Run DMC concert, I was a senior. I was probably 18. I'm like, I'm going.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, one thing that I noticed about that time frame is like, I believe that over time, like Delby was talking about the '70s, the late '60s. That's when the Woodstock and the women's rights and all that stuff was going on, and the transition was going toward more independence. And by the time you hit the late '80s, it was like sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I mean, it was debauchery times 1,000.
Yeah.
It seemed like, I mean, I was lucky to get to do anything past that light out front being on. You know what I mean? It's like
Yes. Yeah.
you'd be home when that light turns on. It's like,
Yep.
oh, we lost Delby. Maybe he'll come back.
It's
How about
funny
you,
that,
chat?
oh,
How about you, chat? Some of them are saying 1982 Texas Jam. Yeah, those used to be yearly. Mickey says she traveled with ZZ Top. Look at you.
I have a
Nina,
friend who has a band that opened up for ZZ Top, and he said that was crazy.
Nina said she went to see Cyndi Lauper. Is that what she said?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
first concert. Kiss was a crazy concert. I bet.
Oh,
I
I
bet that.
bet.
I bet they still are. See, Nina, I've seen Five Finger Death Punch. I've seen Linkin Park and Hollywood Undead. Those are some amazing concerts right there.
So
Before
my
the beer,
daughter's taking me to Lollapalooza this summer.
really? Where at?
So she's 27. It's always in Chicago. And well, we go to the Chicago one. I've been there like 4 times and I've never had tickets. So I'm always on the outside just listening. So this year she's like, we're going in.
Man, I didn't know they still had those.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, for the longest time they had those Vans Warp Tours. Do you
Yes.
remember those?
Yep.
Those were popular for the longest time. And you know, I grew up seeing Spring Break on MTV, and you were saying we were the generation that kind of brought it all out. We were the ones that brought MTV into existence pretty much, you know. Give me my MTV. You know
Right.
what I mean? So is Carlos around? I mean, you don't have to tell me, but y'all are kind of close in age.
Oh, yeah. He's like 3 years older than me.
Okay, so y'all
Part of the
both
year
kind of
it's 3 years, part of the year it's 4 years.
yeah, so y'all kind of enjoy the same type stuff. Y'all can talk about the same type
Yeah, he's more
time frame.
eclectic. Yeah. Yeah.
He's more what?
Eclectic with his music. Well, I
Yeah.
guess we both are. Like my parents were like country music fans, so I know I was dragged to country concerts, and when I was little I liked it. So I know all of that. I know all of
Yeah.
that music. Yeah, we Carlos and I like the same music. Yeah.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, I like Carlos, man. I replayed that one time when I brought you up for the first time. I replayed that video a couple weeks ago, and I was thinking, man, that was a crazy night. We were just laughing about so much. We were just having a good time, like we had known each other forever. And that was
I
the
know.
first time that y'all were on panel, and I was like, these are some cool people, man. I'm gonna vibe with them, you know. And you know, I've been wanting to have y'all back, but you know, we're all busy with whatever, you know.
We are, and he was let go from a position without a job for a while, just started back. So he's like getting into that grind again. And
Yeah.
I'm about to retire. So I'm telling you, when I retire, we'll be able to come on because I'll be scheduling things. So
So so you've been doing the teaching nonstop for this many years. Is it still
32 years. Yeah.
wow?
Yeah.
And
I'm
that's
done.
why I
I'm
wanted
ready.
you up a little bit because I did want to talk about the generational gap a little bit because I know that you've seen it and we've talked about it just briefly on other lives, but we never really, you know, embellished that. What's the one thing that you notice? I mean, obviously you've lived through your own generation, you've lived through growing up, you've lived through having children, you've lived through raising children. What's the one thing that you've noticed about the generations that changed from the time when you were a kid? I mean, what's the biggest thing in your opinion?
I just see that these kids, the way that they, I don't know. I guess to sum it up, like they just want to do what they want to do and they don't care what the reason is why they can't do it. And they want to argue why they feel that they should be able to do it. And every time they talk like that, it feels like they're trying to argue with their mom. And I'm like, you're not at home.
So they don't get anywhere with you?
No.
What's your
No.
favorite line? What's your favorite line? What do you say? What's something
Oh
you hear yourself
boy.
saying?
I don't know if it's my favorite line, but the other day they were like, why? And I said, because like Bobby Brown said, it's my prerogative. I don't know
No.
if I have a line with the kids, but I feel like I have a good relationship with them. We get along, but I don't know. Some of them are, and I think it's where they come from.
Yeah.
It's just bad situations.
There's a
So,
lot of dysfunction. There's a
yeah.
lot of grandparents raising these kids that were our generation, trying to instill those values, those morals, those beliefs on these new age type mindsets, kind of like what Delby was talking about as far as the, controllers and, video games and the cell phones and all this. They don't know how to communicate for nothing. It's almost like, okay, use your words. What do you need? And you have to kind of coach them through getting them to articulate a sentence with you. They're very violent at times.
It's also like taking accountability. Like, I don't care. Like, if you're talking and you're talking, and I'm like, hey, I'll give you the eyes. I'll give you some subtle warnings. Like, I'll go stand next to you. Like, but like after the fifth time or something, I'm like, come on. And they act like they don't know. And maybe it is, maybe they don't have self awareness of what they're doing at the time, but they don't want to take any accountability. And sometimes it can be complete blatant things. And they're just, I didn't do anything. Or the way they say it, which is a TikTok trend, I think, is like, what did I do? And they roll their R's like, what did I do?
So do you see them emulating a lot of stuff that they see online pretty much? Like,
Oh, yeah. And I have to always keep up. Now, my daughter's 27, so she's pretty good at helping me. But sometimes I'll look things up. Like, they said a word today and they were all like freaking out that a kid said it. And I was like, I'm going to go find out what that means. And the kid was mortified. Like, oh my God.
no, don't do it. Don't
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
The one thing that's interesting about this generation is, as individualized as they want to be, they still need each other and they don't realize that. They still need each other. It's like they don't see the fact that people are trying to help them rather than hurt them. You
They're
can see.
very protective over each other, though. They're very,
Yeah.
it was, I think I saw that more at the beginning of the year than I do now, but they were very quick to defend people. Like, that person didn't do anything, or, so those are just things that stood out to me about this year, this group of kids.
What's interesting too is I was talking to this one individual and I was telling him, I said, look, when you use the word snitches get stitches or stuff like that, I said, that's a culture. That's a culture. And the fact that you're using that means that either you have been exposed to that culture or you're just repeating something you have no clue what it is that you're repeating.
Yeah.
So, the prison culture, they talk about hitting licks and, all this stuff, just the whole rhetoric of being incarcerated. And I was telling this one boy, I said, look, I said, you better bulk up if you feel that you're going to go to jail and not become somebody's girlfriend. I said, Big Bubba's going to get you. Well, I'll shank him. I said, you've been watching too many movies. You've been watching too many movies. I said, Big Bubba's in there lifting weights right now, just waiting for you to come see him. That'll happen. I said, okay. Why would I lie about this? Why would I
Right.
lie about this stuff? And by the end, I had him quiet. Like he was not talking back at all.
Oh, you
And
got
I
them
said,
thinking. Yeah.
and I told him, I said, you keep on this road that you're going. I said, I've seen hardened men go in tough and come out confused. They're no longer tough men. They like men, they have that kind of confusion going on because of their trauma. And we're discussing that for a minute and he just he just kind of went blank there. He wasn't talking back anymore. I mean, it's a different generation for sure. But I'm glad that you're about to retire. I'm sure you're ready. I
Oh,
still have about 7 or 8 more years, I guess, maybe 10 on a good note. But one thing for certain, like I told my boss today, I plan on this being my last job. I want to just I want it to be the job where you're just kind of like, okay, I'm passing the torch. It's all yours.
yes. Yep. So what is your current role?
I'm a I'm the therapist in the office of a
Okay.
uh, juvenile probation office. So I run all the classes. I do the individualized sessions when people have drug or alcohol addictions or criminogenic need that they need addressed and stuff like that. And I have an alternate role where I transport kids. I'm on call, all kinds of stuff. So wearing many hats, just ready to for it to settle down a little bit.
Yeah, and you want to keep doing that do that till the end?
Well, I'll be a probation officer and a therapist. I'll be like a hybrid. So,
Okay.
it'll be but I've been a therapist for like 24 years. Never thought I'd say that, but yeah, I've been a therapist for 24 years. And
That's awesome.
the question that I asked you is, what have you seen compared to when you were young? I was thinking back on that question because I was thinking, okay, what have I seen in people that has really changed? And I would say respect. Everybody feels like they're entitled to have your respect before you earn it. Like if you feel that somebody disrespected you, then you don't have the ability to walk away. You have to stand your ground and get into an altercation or get physical or something like that. Where in the past that happened, but it wasn't daily. I see so many kids that get into fights on a daily basis. Do you see that as well?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like because we have so much more information now, like we find out about every single story that's able to hit the news about, someone in power in religion or education or politics or whatever it may be that's abusing their power. And so that's made us put more safety things into place, and a lot, and our society becomes more skeptical because, if you think back when I was in school, like they were paddling kids in the office. Like I had
Yeah.
a teacher that would walk up and down our classroom with a yardstick and like whack our desks. If I did that, I would get fired. So I feel like there's been this, I don't know, 180 of a flip. Like you can't do those types of harsh consequences anymore. But yet we know, and then also, teachers don't just deserve respect because they're a teacher or insert whatever profession,
Yes.
because we know there's bad people out there.
And unfortunately, society sees it every day. You see this teacher slept with this student, this teacher abused this student, this teacher had inappropriate text with this student. You see that. So you're trying to be ethical, but they don't trust in that from you.
Yeah, you have to work really hard. It takes a lot of effort to build that trust and relationships, and 32 years of doing that, like I'm like I can't do it anymore.
Right, right,
I could, but I wouldn't do it. I feel like I'm getting out at a high point, like,
right.
still able to do all those things, but I don't know how much longer I could keep doing it. So,
So Mickey said beer drinkers and hell raisers. Was that kind of the type of people that you hung around? Beer
yeah.
drinkers and hell raisers? Yeah.
partying in the fields,
When
or
that was still,
whose house is empty this weekend, right?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Did you
Yep.
ever run from the cops?
No, but when I was in college, my parents took a vacation with my younger sister, and I came home for the weekend. So I had a party, and way more people showed up than were invited, and my neighbors ratted me out.
Oh my gosh.
It was
That is
crazy.
terrible. That is terrible.
It was crazy. Harmless. It was harmless, but
Like I was saying earlier, I feel like society has kind of put a clamp on everything that was once left to the parents, left to the neighbors, left to the grandparents. It's like, okay, law enforcement, you have the right to make all these laws because we can't do anything about it. Now, what's happened is everything is so locked down. It's no longer just, okay, kids are going to be kids. Because I promise you, if kids are caught drinking in a field today, there's some kids that are going to be in trouble. You know what I mean? It's not going to be pour that beer out and go home. Call your parents.
I don't know how we didn't get caught.
Kim, I've
Well, we
jumped
weren't
over.
posting it on social media. That's number one.
Man, that was like I'm saying, I would have been live on a lot of those parties. I would have been the one videotaping the whole party, like walking around, the hype man. I would have been, even though I was a very shy individual, get a little drink in me, that person left. It was like, okay, I don't even know where that guy went. Let's do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's
Yep.
that's the person that ended up coming out. So yeah, it's quite interesting that, a lot of times we were our former self when we were younger. We just didn't know it. We didn't know we had that power that we have now that we're older.
Yeah.
So your children, did they feel that you were the cool parent or did they feel that you were the strict parents?
Oh no, I think well, I don't know if everybody in chat knows, but I had a child that had a lot of medical issues growing up, so that created in me a very overbearing, protective, especially with him. And then my daughter, she and her and I are developing a super close bond now. She's living at home with us. But she kind of got, I wouldn't say neglected, but it's hard when you're always super worried about the sick child and then your other
Right,
child that's okay,
right.
easier not to be so concerned. But no,
Mickey,
Carlos was the one that was like, he had to tell me, say yes. Instead of saying no all the time, he said, say yes, but like, yes, you can do it, but here's the things I need you to be careful about.
okay, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Mickey says she's the cool aunt. That's a good title to have a lot of times. You can be the one that they come to talk to, the one they confide in,
Yeah.
the one that they trust, probably the one they're going to call before they call mom and dad if they really need you. Like I tell my niece and nephews, I told my niece the other day, she went to prom, and I said, you know my number. I'm on call. I'll be up pretty much late. You need me, make that call.
That's awesome.
It doesn't matter what time it is, make that call. And I'm there. I'm there. I don't care. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do once I get there, but I'm going to go.
Right.
I'll kind of make it up as I go along. Because sometimes in my brain, I still think I'm the 20-year-old badass. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly. I feel like my kids couldn't do what I did because I did everything. I'm like, there's no way, but they still managed to do a few things. But
Right,
yeah,
right.
we always try to stay open with them, and it allowed them to become the people that they are today, that a lot of families wouldn't always be accepting of, and
Yeah.
so that's been good.
I mean, I look at it like this. I started with my niece and nephews when they were little. My oldest nephew, smarted off to me one time in my backyard, and I lived next door to them at the time. And I said, "Go home." He's like, "What? No." I said, "No, you get your little ass home and don't come back until you know how to respect me. You're not going to smart off to me. I don't smart off to you. You don't smart off to me." He left crying. He was probably 7 or 8 years old. Probably about 10 minutes, he comes back, gives me a hug, crying, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I love you. I love you." I said, "I love you too, but I'm not that person. I don't ever do any of that to you, so you don't do it to me." And another rule that I had with them when I took them to the movies, I said, "Okay, a soda or a water, a candy or a popcorn. You make the
Mhm.
choice." Those are the only choices. If you don't want popcorn, you want the hot dog. I mean, interchangeable, but that's it. There's not going to be a lot of, "I want three candy bars, this and that." This is your choices. And to this day, we go to the movies and, they're 15, 17, 16, 17, 19, and they're still like, "Well, I want a Coke and I want a popcorn." It's like, I don't even care at this point, but it's like,
But
wow, this is,
the psychology behind that, right? Like,
yeah, yeah,
the importance of setting those boundaries. And that's even with this generation today in school, they need that. They respect that. Like, it takes a
yeah,
lot of work, like as a teacher at the beginning of the year, especially to do that with 20 some different kids in the classroom. But
right, right.
that's what's the most effective. They have to learn what they can do and get away with and what they can't.
And I'm like that when I teach classes too. Like, I'm not so hardcore as I was with the adults. I mean, the adults used to try me and I'd like nail them to the floor quick. But with the kids, I might let something slide and then I'll be like, "Okay, I need to cut that off because it's becoming a habit." Be like, "Hey, so and so, pay attention." "Yes, sir." Get this. I started a class and I asked them a question. Not one answered me. And I said, "I'm going to ask this again. Does anybody in here have a mouth? Do y'all have ears? Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Do you understand the rules?" Two of them. "Yes, sir. Yes, sir." "Okay, I only heard two of y'all. I'm not going to start until everybody speaks. I don't care if that takes the whole time for me to teach you how to answer a question. That's going to be the lesson." The
Right?
third time, there was some mumbling, but, you know,
Yep.
not one didn't speak.
Oh, I
And
get it. I get it. We have to practice lining up how to make a line.
shortest to tallest or what?
No, just like, we got to move through the hallway and we can't go in a big herd. Like, we need to be in a line when we go. But, on the other hand, on the other side of that, like, I play games with my kids. Like, I find different stuff all the time because there's so many teachers on social media that are sharing like fun things. And
Right,
those kids
right.
love that. Love it. So when they have fun with you and they respect you, I feel like that's the chef's kiss.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's always cool to get creative. I
Yeah.
listened to this comedian the other day and he was talking about his science project and he said, science project, there was that one kid that always did the constellation of the universe and he always had you could tell that the parent did the thing because all he could say was, "The sun is a sock." And he was mimicking him. And then he said, when it was my turn, they asked me, "Hey, Jimmy, what'd you bring?" I brought dirt in a cup. Well, what does it do? Nothing. It's dirt in a cup. And he was just going on and on. And he goes, nothing destroyed the kid's confidence like a spelling bee. He goes, let me show everybody how stupid you are by standing you up in front of the class and having you spell a word. He's like, to go through that torture for 3 hours, he goes, I was behind the kid that had to spell cat K-A-T. And then the kid walked by me and he said, I knew it has two T's. And then he said, I was the kid that took one for the whole team. I wanted to get out of there quick. So I just said, my name is John, and went to my seat. I mean, this comedian's hilarious. I mean, I don't know if you find that funny, but he was just going on and on and on about that. And
There's some good teacher comedians out there.
I mean, hopefully one day, if there's anybody on YouTube that, is looking for a plug or to give a show, if you're listening or you happen to catch this, hit me up on my email and, we'll book a Wednesday night where you can come up here and you can give an hour of your best stuff. Or if there's any comedians in the chat right now and you want to come up and try out your material, that's what this podcast is for. It's basically totally different than the other stuff. And I really enjoy this a lot more than the other stuff for some reason. I
Has
mean, I
anybody
enjoy
done stand up in the chat? Has anybody ever done stand up? I just
not
did
in
a
here.
I'm sorry. I just did a poetry cafe today no, it was yesterday in my classroom, and we do like an open mic day, and I like cover the tables, and like we would set up a little cafe and the kids get up and do their
Yeah.
poetry because that's what we were doing. But afterwards, I just opened the mic and I was like, hey, if anybody wants to go up and like tell your jokes, or here's your chance.
I'd love it. I'd love it. But there's a lot of people that I don't know if there's a lot, but if you're listening to this on replay or you catch this live and you're a comedian and you are actually funny, or you want to try out your stuff, hit me up on my email. It's pinned at the top of the chat. And we'll schedule you on a Wednesday and we'll give you your 10 minutes, 15 minutes, however long it takes for you to entertain the crowd.
Oh, that would be awesome.
You want to read any poetry? You write poetry?
Oh no, I'll only do it as like examples of what we're doing. And
Oh, okay.
cool.
Okay. All right.
So here's my example. Like I was teaching them how to write a haiku, and it like follows like 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. I can't remember the poem
Right.
that I wrote, but and it's true with writers. You write about what you know, right? What's in your life. But like, I'm a teacher, so I'm like last minute driving to school. So like my example was like, there was a turkey in the road. Like made me late for school. Stuff like that,
Yeah. I looked out the window and saw some grass.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Like, is Carlos a comedian?
I mean, he's funny to me, but no, not like a stand-up guy. And in fact, he has a personal story about why he won't like tell just like jokes about people, because he was in a situation one time where it really like negatively impacted somebody. So
Oh, okay.
kind of stays away from the whole joke thing. But
Okay.
humor's humor. He'll laugh at some humor, just not
Yeah.
at anybody's expense.
I mean, I used to go to like stand-up comedy clubs, and there are some really good comedians out there. I mean, they are just hilarious. I mean, one of my favorites is D.L. Hughley. I don't know if you know who he is. He's one of the
Uh-huh.
original kings of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Steve Harvey, they just I watch them from time to time, and I could just sit there and just I've heard the joke a million times, but it is just so funny. And Fluffy,
Yes,
Fluffy.
I know who that is. I loved Howie May. Rest in peace. He has passed away, but I loved him, Howie May. I
Yeah.
found him because they used to have a reality TV show where they had comedians come on. Did you ever
Uh
watch that
huh.
one?
No, I haven't. Tell us
Oh my
about it.
gosh, it was hilarious because they would put them in a house together. Could you imagine a bunch of comedians like living together, and then they would have challenges that they would have to do, and then there would be an ultimate winner at the end, and that's how I found a lot of people that I liked.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. I was thinking about that today. I was like, I don't want to make it a gong show or anything, but I'd like people to. I mean, we're gonna be
That
the
would be
voice.
funny.
We're gonna be the voice of YouTube. It's like we're all covered, and we have somebody backstage. They're covered, and they're just playing or singing, and we're voting. Oh, I'm just giving up too many ideas.
Oh,
People are gonna.
the
Yeah,
mystery person.
yeah, the mystery person. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it just amazing what you can do with this platform. It can be used for much more things than just to sit and argue and fight all the time and all that other stuff. I know I went there and I went through a very dark period of time, and I went way further than I wanted to. But I've got to thinking the last couple times when it's gotten to this point. It's like, you got to do something to switch it up. You got to do something that's for you. Kind of like I noticed you guys were streaming Big Brother there for a while. And I thought that was amazing. I thought that was awesome.
We had fun with it, and not that like views counted. I think we kind of like fizzled out on just doing because we watched Big Brother, like we watched it till the end. Like we just
Right,
stopped
right.
doing our recordings about it. But we started our channel with a personal story. That's why we did this. Our name comes from a personal story. I just happen
Okay.
to also like true crime. Like that's also a passion,
Right,
right?
right.
So this isn't going to last, this one particular thing. So yeah, that's why, Carlos and I are kind of more like real talk, like that's our like tagline. So we kind of had to veer away from our personal
Yeah,
topic
I
just for
understand that. I
yeah. So
understand
what
that.
we struggle too, like, well, then what other topics to talk about? What's engaging to people? You know, I get you. I know. I
I mean,
understand.
unfortunately, it seems like kind of like what we've been talking about tonight. If we were in another era, what we're doing tonight, it'd pack the seats. There would be seats. The chat would be rolling so fast because there'd be people in here just excited to go down memory lane or whatever we're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you don't talk about something that resonates with their anger, their angst, their frustration, their negativity of life, then it seems like they kind of push you to the side. You know what I mean? That's why I
Well,
like that you guys have kept at it, that you guys have continued to, just do you. And I think that's quite refreshing. We need more channels like that.
thank
We
you.
really do. We
You
really
too. I
do.
know.
We really do.
We're gonna figure it out.
I mean, I got so many ideas on this. The whole thing about it, it's hard to do because it's almost like a Zoom platform.
Yeah.
So you get more than like 4 or 5 people. It just everybody's talking all at once, and you can't understand anybody, or somebody has some bad connections, or like I've had a couple of shows where I've had echoes. I mean, it just you're just like, oh my God, of all the time to have an echo.
Oh, I forgot to plug our microphones in one time.
Yeah. And I like the fact
Yeah.
that you guys match. Whose idea was that?
So that would be Carlos telling me, just give, this is what he tells me every episode. Give me a shirt in 15 minutes and I'll be ready. So Kim is like, all right, I'm going to pick out the same colors of shirt. So that's where that
It's
came from.
amazing. It's amazing that y'all have the same colors. I don't know very many people that can color coordinate like that, where it's identical colors. It's not like, well, he's wearing a dark, newish black shirt and you're wearing a faded out black shirt. You know what I mean? It's perfectly the same color, and it's pretty awesome to see that. Pretty awesome to see
Yeah,
that.
we started with some basic ones and then um we took a couple trips and we were getting some t-shirts. I'm like, we need to get some matching t-shirts because we got to switch up our outfits. Funny.
Oh man. I mean, this is hard work. It really is. We probably make it look easier than it is. You were talking about the time frame that it took to make that video, that 11-second video.
Yeah,
Well, some of the intro, like the intro that I did for this, it took me literally probably 4 hours.
I believe it.
And that's finding sounds and that's finding pictures. And I did a video yesterday from scratch. And I was watching it last night and I was like, that's not really that bad. But when I first seen it, I thought, this is trash. How did I put my name attached to this?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting to be a YouTuber. Would you
That's why, I
recommend it?
mean, I really admire the channels that are just like, on it and like putting stuff out and putting stuff out. I'm like, wow, like it's a goal to have the time to be able to like move towards that direction, but if you're working a full-time job, I mean, that is so hard to even
Yes.
to try to get to.
Yes. Like even when I do the reading, I don't know if you've ever been in here watching or listening when I do the reading, but sometimes I'll be reading and I'll be like, "Oh man, I can't make it through another chapter. I gotta end it. It's too much. It's too much."
Yeah.
My chat, my chat's like, "No, don't go, don't go." Oh, I have to go, otherwise I'm gonna fall out right here. It's too much. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Well, if you could give anybody any advice about being a YouTuber or YouTube creator channel, is there any advice that you'd give them that maybe you didn't understand existed, if there was an obstacle or any kind of shortcut that you might give to somebody who's thinking about having a channel?
I think keep it simple because I think I didn't go complicated at first. Like I did, the advice I heard was just do it. Like just hit record and just do it. Just go for it. But then when I look back at my first video, I'm like mortified. Like, oh my gosh, you guys, if you go back and look at our first video, oh my God, it is so bad. But you go and you learn. And I think once I started learning, I tried to get too complicated. And I would just say,
Yeah.
like, just, keep it simple. You don't need angles, different angles
Yeah.
of things
Yeah.
and, all of that. But
You can kind of tell people's first videos, they all have that duck in the right hand corner, the StreamYard duck. Like
oh, okay.
like my first one, because you can't get any new, like now it has the X11 and all that in the right hand corner, but until you get so many subs, you can't get any of that stuff. So they make you, represent their StreamYard duck. So you look at people's earlier videos, you're like, oh, that's an early video. He's, or they're a new creator. They have that StreamYard duck up there, or, they're just rolling with the free version there's nothing wrong with that. StreamYard is, continuing to increase their prices. Good Lord.
Yeah. Well, we were so basic. We didn't even use StreamYard. I used our built-in webcam and the recording software that was on my iPad or my PC, laptop, whatever, and we just did
Really?
it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then
I
you
still
uploaded it? And then you uploaded it?
just to YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I
Even
would have
now,
never.
like my editing, I use like Clipchamp for my editing. Like I just use the
Yeah.
basic,
Yeah.
it
There's
does it.
nothing
It gets
wrong
the
with
job
it.
done. I tried to use a more complicated system and I can't, the learning curve was too big to get the job done. Like I could get the job done fast on what I knew, and I didn't want to
Right.
take the time to learn something more, even though it might be a little bit better. I didn't want to take that time.
Yeah, I don't have the patience for that. Like,
Yeah.
clicking and moving and putting these things together and cutting this out and inserting this. And it's like, Jesus, I'm not a producer. Like, I'm doing the best I can with just keeping all this in sequence.
Yeah. I need it to be simple. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, Kim, I really appreciate you coming up. I mean, I appreciate, thank you for your 30 plus years of educational service. I mean, I'm sure there's some people out there that you've changed their path without even realizing it, you
Thank
know?
you. Yeah. There's a lot of kids that I've kept in touch with. I even went to a wedding. I got invited to a wedding of a student. So that's like a
Wow.
career highlight, right? To have that relationship. So
That
yeah,
is awesome. That is awesome.
that was
You know,
amazing. But it was
sometimes,
good to see you. Like I know you've been popping into
yeah,
our channel too. And like that one last I was working and I tried to set up that live. I'm like, I'm gonna like just set it up on lunch, hit the button, run back to work. It's gonna go all day, and then it froze. I'm like, my friend's texting me, it's frozen. I don't know. I'm like, I don't know.
I thought it was the court. I was like, are you shitting me? I mean, because
It
I
was
was
the
watching
court.
it.
It was their video that froze. But
Yes,
because I wasn't there to do anything about it, I couldn't fix it.
right. And I was like, okay, they're just stuck. And then I was looking at other people that are like, they're stuck too. Like, what is going on? So I
Yeah.
eventually found some other stream and I was like, okay. And then
Yeah.
I'd look back and you were still frozen. Yes,
I had like
yes.
5 hours of the, court will resume or whatever it said. Yeah, that was funny.
Well, send my best to Carlos and tell him congratulations on the new job.
I will. Bye,
And
everybody. I'm going to jump down.
hopefully we'll be able to get together on a true crime. I'll come over there. It doesn't have to be over here. We'll dual stream or something if you ever want to do that. Okay.
We will for sure. Like I said, let me get my, new retired life going and figuring all that out. But
Right.
for sure, we're going to do that.
Sounds great. Sounds
All
great. Take it
right.
easy. Be safe out there.
Yep.
Talk to you
See you
soon.
later. Bye.
Bye bye. Oh wow! I almost took myself out of this. I almost closed the studio. I tell you, it's the margin for error on some of this is just very minimal. You hit the wrong button, you just wipe the whole live out. You click something, something pops up. You don't know what you're popping up, and then you're like, oh my god! I hope none of my photos or videos or any of this stuff is put on here. But anyway, regardless, um, I guess some of my guests had technical issues, but I enjoyed them being up here for the time frame that they were here. Like I said, if you're a musician, a comedian, or any kind of individual that's looking for a free spot to demonstrate your stuff, hit me up on my email, and on a Wednesday, I will allow you to be on my channel and demonstrate your stuff, and we'll even talk and get to know you, so people can find out the next talent out there. Well, I'm gonna play my intro as the outro. Thank you so much for those of you that stayed the hour and 40 minutes. I really appreciate it. So this is going to be a recurring thing on a Wednesday unless I have prior obligations. But until then, y'all be wonderful out there, and I'll see you soon. Let me know what you think about the outro.
Hey, it's Wednesday night. Time for a break in between the week. Let's talk about current events, life, and laugh. Podcast time. It's been a while.
Yeah, we're making it right. Laughing, crying, feeling blue, but feeling light. It's Wednesday night and we're back again with the crew where the real talk never ends. Halfway through, yeah, we're making it right. Laughing, crying, feeling blue, but feeling light. Life moves fast, so let's hit pause. Tell our stories without a cause. Just you, me, and that 12-gauge sound where every voice and vibe is found. It's 12 gauge on a Wednesday night. Come on in, the mood is right. Like, subscribe, don't miss the light. We're chilling through the week, taking flight.